The movie opens with a scene featuring a man named Eric, who has just concluded an intimate moment with a woman named Talia. Following this, Eric retreats to the bathroom to freshen up and shower. Concurrently, Talia moves to the living room to grab a beverage and enjoy some music, all the while sensing an eerie feeling of being observed. Her intuition proves to be accurate, as she is soon taken aback by the unexpected presence of someone behind her. Upon exiting the shower, Eric notices something peculiar that draws his attention. The source of his intrigue is the chilling message, "You're next," inscribed in blood on the mirror. The situation escalates when Eric is abruptly killed by an unseen intruder from behind. A couple, Paul and his wife Aubrey, who are en route to a destination. They are traveling to their suburban vacation home, where they plan to host a family gathering with their children. Upon their arrival at the vacation home, Paul observes that the front door is unlocked. Suspecting that the workmen must have left it open during their last visit, Aubrey immediately heads to the dining room to tidy up in preparation for the arrival of their children and their respective partners. In the meantime, Crispian, one of Paul's children, is traveling to the house accompanied by his girlfriend, Erin. The conversation now revolves around the wealth of Crispian's parents, and Erin appears thrilled at the prospect of meeting her boyfriend's family. Aubrey, who is in the midst of tidying up, is jolted by a noise and vibration emanating from the upper floor. She informs Paul about it, but he remains composed and advises her to wait outside. Paul then hurries upstairs to investigate. After several calls and room checks, he finds that the upper floor is empty. However, he is startled by the sound of an object falling in a room, prompting him to inspect it. He is then taken aback by the unexpected arrival of Crispian, who has already reached their house. As they descend the stairs to greet Erin, the door to the room can be seen gradually opening. Crispian introduces Erin to his parents, who welcome them both into their home. That night, they plan to rest and sleep while awaiting the arrival of Crispian's other siblings. The following day, Crispian, having just awoken, is met by his brother Drake and Drake's wife, Kelly. Crispian and Drake frequently revert to their childlike selves as they reminisce about their childhood. Subsequently, Erin enters the kitchen and offers her assistance, but Aubrey assures her that everything is under control. Aubrey suddenly recalls that they have run out of milk and requests Erin to fetch some from their neighbor Eric's house. Erin then captures a photo of the three family members and informs Crispian about her errand to their neighbor's house. Upon reaching Eric's house, Erin attempts to call out for Eric but receives no response. As we are aware, Eric had been previously murdered, and the music in his house continues to play. Later in the day, the rest of Paul's children arrive at the house with their partners. They include Amy and her boyfriend Tarek, as well as Felix and his girlfriend Z. They exchange greetings and introduce their partners to Paul. Afterward, Aubrey invites them to join them for dinner, featuring dishes she has prepared. During the meal, they inquire about the backgrounds and occupations of all the siblings' partners. At this point, a heated argument erupts between Drake and Crispian, as Drake has a tendency to belittle Crispian. Amidst the escalating tension, Tarek suddenly senses that something is amiss. He attempts to investigate, but abruptly, a pointed arrow whizzes through the window. The sudden death of Tarek sends everyone into a state of panic, transforming their anticipated dinner gathering into a horrifying ordeal within minutes. Amidst the chaos, Drake instinctively shields his mother from danger, only to be struck by an arrow in his back. They attempt to contact the police, but the lack of signal hinders them. Felix theorizes that the perpetrator might have set up a cell phone jammer in the vicinity of the house, obstructing their ability to call for help. As the tension escalates, Erin steps up, directing everyone to relocate to another room and use chairs as protective barriers. She instructs Kelly to apply pressure to Drake's wound to minimize bleeding and prevent further deterioration. Subsequently, Felix proposes that one of them should dash to the car to seek assistance, prompting a discussion about who is the fastest runner. Amidst the debate, Amy steps forward to volunteer. The strategy is for Amy to sprint as soon as Felix opens the door, catching the assailant off guard with her unexpected burst of speed. Amy takes off, charging through the door. Tragically, their strategy proves to be lethal as a garrote wire positioned directly in front of the door inflicts a severe cut to Amy's throat. Witnessing the ensuing panic, Erin steps up up, securing all windows and doors to prevent the intruder's entry. She further advises that texting 911 could potentially reach some police stations as a voicemail, so even a single bar of signal could enable them to send a text. Crispian is taken aback by Aaron's ability to maintain composure and take charge in such a dire situation. Paul then escorts Aubrey to a room where she can rest and regain her composure. Regrettably, unbeknownst to them, after Paul leaves Aubrey, one of the killers is already present in the room. Emerging slowly from beneath the bed, he instantly murders Aubrey. The sound of her scream prompts everyone to rush to Aubrey's room. Upon entering the room, they are confronted with the sight of Aubrey's lifeless body and the chilling message, "You're next," left by the killer on the wall. Simultaneously, as Aaron is closing the kitchen window, her hair is abruptly yanked by the psychopath. However, Aaron retaliates by pinning the killer's hand to the wall with a knife. Meanwhile, Paul is left heartbroken and distraught over the horrific loss of his beloved wife. Paul is then escorted out of the room to help him regain his composure. Kelly, who remains in the room, drapes a cloth over Aubrey's body, but she starts to feel an unsettling presence. When she attempts to check under the bed, she discovers that the murderer is still concealed there. Overwhelmed with fear, Kelly loses her ability to think clearly and flees from the house. Unbeknownst to her, the killer, who is on standby outside, begins to trail her. Kelly continues to run until she reaches Eric's house, where she tries to call for help but receives no response. Her efforts prove futile when the killer suddenly emerges from behind, striking her in the face and causing her to stumble into the house. In her desperate state, Kelly calls out to Eric for assistance, only to find that Eric is already dead. The killer then enters and brutally murders Kelly with an axe. Back at the house, Aaron instructs Z to tend to Drake's wound, while Crispian announces his plan to retrieve the car so they can all escape. Sensing the presence of one of the killers in the house, they decide to conceal Drake's unconscious body while awaiting Crispian's return with the car. In the meantime, Aaron heads to the kitchen to heat some water for later use. Aaron then glances at the window and hastily gathers various kitchen utensils for self-defense. However, the killer unexpectedly appears and shoves Aaron, causing her to fall with the tools she had gathered. The masked killer also drags Kelly's lifeless body away and makes an attempt on Aaron's life, but the tables turn as Aaron manages to kill the killer instead. Felix and Z are taken aback, not anticipating Aaron's ability to handle the situation. Subsequently, Aaron unmasks the killer, but they fail to recognize the face beneath the mask. Upstairs, Paul revisits a room he had intended to inspect earlier and discovers bottles of beverages and food. Suddenly, the lights go out, prompting Felix and Z to search for Paul. Paul then reveals that this was not a random attack and that they had been under surveillance for days. Regrettably, the killer materializes out of nowhere and instantly murders Paul in front of his son. It is at this juncture that the truth is unveiled, with Felix and Z appearing unperturbed as it becomes clear that they were the killers all along. Meanwhile, Aaron is fending off an attack by one of the psychopaths. Then, Drake, who has just regained consciousness, unexpectedly shows up, inadvertently drawing the killer's attention. Observing the killer advancing towards Drake, Aaron swiftly charges at the psychopath and stabs his back with a screwdriver. After the killer flees, Drake inquires about Kelly's whereabouts, but Aaron refrains from revealing the harsh reality. Aaron subsequently inquires about Paul's condition from Felix, who deceives her by assuring her that his father is fine upstairs. They then begin to search for tools to arm themselves against the assailants. Aaron discreetly covers Kelly's body to prevent Drake from discovering that Kelly has been murdered. She also starts to formulate a strategy, setting up a nail trap for the intruder to stumble upon. When Z questions Aaron about her knowledge of these tactics, Aaron reveals that she was raised in a survivalist compound and her father, being paranoid, wanted her to be self-sufficient. In the meantime, Felix discloses to Drake in the basement that Kelly, his girlfriend, has been murdered. He then kills Drake, whose emotions have spiraled out of control, which aligns with his plan. Drake, being family, never anticipated such an act from his brother. Z, on the other hand, attempts to devise a method to eliminate Aaron, but her efforts are thwarted by the circumstances. Aaron then ascends the stairs, only to discover that Paul is deceased. Simultaneously, the killer, who was already already behind her, attempts to assassinate her. Erin quickly becomes aware of this, and despite injuring her leg after leaping out of the window, she manages to survive. The killer persists in his pursuit of Erin, forcing her to flee into the forest. While concealed in a tree, Erin tries to remove the shattered glass embedded in her thigh. However, the killer locates her and fires an arrow at her. Consequently, Erin, who is now unable to run properly, is compelled to return to the house. She then conceals herself in a hidden spot where she had previously hidden Drake's body. Just as the murderer is about to climb through the window, he notices that Erin had previously laid a nail trap for him. He underestimates Erin's cunning, only to be caught off guard by another nail trap positioned directly beneath the window. Felix and the others then descend the stairs, where he berates his hired assassins for their botched plan due to a single girl. Erin, concealed in a secret room, eventually uncovers the truth that all these killers are acting under Felix's command. In essence, Felix orchestrated all this to gain exclusive control over their parents' inheritance. Suddenly, they hear Erin's phone ringing, indicating that her emergency message has been received by the police's voicemail. The killer then approaches the area where Erin is hiding. As he is about to pull back the curtain, Erin swiftly strikes him and flees from the house. Once outside, she re-enters another room through the window. Shortly after, one of the killers attempts to peer through the window, only for Erin to appear and stab him in the head with a knife. With this one eliminated, only one killer remains. Erin then seizes the killer's axe and rigs a trap on the door, positioning the axe to fall and kill anyone who opens it. Felix, who is still searching for Erin, requests the crossbow with the intention of killing Erin himself. After setting the trap, Erin rushes into the basement and extinguishes all the lights. She seems to be formulating a strategy involving her camera. As the murderer approaches, he is attracted to the flash from Erin's camera. Realizing that the killer has been temporarily blinded by the flash, Erin emerges and fractures his skull with a log. When she exits the basement, Felix attempts to shoot her with a crossbow, but fortuitously, his shot misses. Z resumes her pursuit of Erin, while Felix heads to his car to deactivate his cell phone jammer. Inside the house, a confrontation ensues between Erin and Z, which is interrupted by Felix's arrival. Upon reaching the kitchen, Felix is splashed with water by Erin. Although the water has cooled down, Z bites Erin's hand, prompting Erin to retaliate by striking her on the head with a pan. Amidst the struggle between Z and Erin, Felix regains consciousness and stabs Erin in the back. However, Erin fights back by seizing a blender and attacking Felix with it. Erin then executes her final move by placing the blender on Felix's head, grinding it into a gruesome smoothie. Subsequently, Erin removes the knife lodged in her back and stabs Z in the head. Shortly after, Felix's cell phone rings, and Erin answers it without uttering a word. Hearing Crispian's voice inquiring if everything is over, Erin finally uncovers the shocking truth that her own boyfriend is also a conspirator in this murderous plot. This revelation explains why he never returned after leaving to fetch the car. Upon entering the house, Crispian realizes that Erin is holding Felix's cell phone. At this juncture, Crispian attempts to convince Erin, explaining that he never intended to kill her in his scheme, as they needed someone like Erin who lacked a motive to witness the events, and with the inheritance left by his family, they would be able to escape their troubled lives and live happily. As Crispian continues to paint a picture of their future happiness, Erin maintains her steady gaze on him and abruptly kills her boyfriend by stabbing him in the neck. Simultaneously, a police officer arrives on the scene and instantly shoots Erin in the shoulder. As the movie ends, the police officer then radios his team, requesting backup. He tries to enter the house, but it appears that misfortune awaits him, as he is about to walk through the door that Erin had rigged as a trap. Erin attempts to warn the officer, but it's too late. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.